Bryce Young is going to be running for his life. And seeing him stand next to his offensive line, not looking great. He's about half their size.
Yeah, he's very
Defensively,
short.
Chad,
Like Bojangles' boxes are not big, and you can see how big they look in comparison to him in this picture. Even
He's a
yeah,
little
he's
bit.
not that tall. They got Johnny Hecker, so in case the offense doesn't move the ball, he will. Um,
Carolina Panthers. They obviously their big move this offseason was getting Bryce Young into the fold here. Bryce Young, I'm excited to see what he looks like because like a lot of Alabama quarterbacks coming in the NFL, it's kind of like, well, this is gonna be a different story because they had it pretty easy. Like usually Alabama quarterbacks are throwing the guys who are a lot better than defenses are facing. That wasn't the case with Bryce Young last year. Bryce Young, he was a gamer. Like he had to make the plays happen for that team. That Alabama team was not as good as usual, and he really carried them. He's gonna have to carry this team too, because honestly, I'm not a big fan of their skill talent around them. Like they have an aging Adam Thielen who can't really get open anymore. DJ Shark maybe plays like 5 games a year now. They did draft Jonathan Mingo in the second round. They really need him to become the guy. Or Terrence Marshall, who they drafted a few years ago, but hasn't panned out yet. Hayden Hurst at least gives him something to throw to. And Miles Sanders, we'll see what he does. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not a big fan of him. I thought he produced last year because he was behind the best offensive line. What's he going to do behind this one? This offensive line's getting better, but it's not there yet. Defensively, they're struggling to have a pass rush. They really missed Hassan Reddick last year. But they still have Brian Burns and Derek Brown to help. Linebacker's pretty strong, but their secondary, I'm worried about their secondary outside of Horn and some of the safeties. What are your thoughts, Chad?
I thought when they went out and got a quarterback, although Bryce Young wasn't my favorite pick in this draft, I thought it was good they got a quarterback. But since then, they really haven't surrounded him with any great talent. Usually, you see quarterbacks come into the league with a wide receiver with them. Look at the Bengals with Joe Burrow and T. Higgins. I mean,
Right.
you see it countless times. They didn't really give him that guy. I mean, like you said, Mingo maybe. They went ahead and traded away their best wide receiver, to the Bears. So they get that top pick to get Bryce, but I think they're going to need to do some work, and I don't think Miles Sanders is the man to carry that team. Defensively, like you said, who do we know? It's not really that great of a defense. They have their moments, but I don't see this team running through the playoffs.
Yeah, and Matt, like maybe you can answer this, but like, what exactly was their plan here? Like, why would they trade away their young stud at receiver and DJ Moore and then go and sign like these old aging vets? Like, it doesn't make any sense, especially when you're kind of starting over with a new QB.
I think they had their mind set on Bryce Young, and they didn't want anybody else to get him. And their only chip that they could give up was DJ Moore. Everything else that they wanted to keep. Um, they have kind of the shell of what they need to do to be successful in the future. Um, Thielen is aging, probably won't be 1,000-yard receiver, but his presence in the locker room is going to be felt. He's knowledgeable about football. DJ Chark has been around for a little bit. He has been injured, but maybe this year he'll turn around. Terrace Marshall, maybe he can kind of step up now that they're looking for a number one. Don't forget they have Viscous Chenault. So they have like a bunch of number twos, not necessarily a number one. Their interior offensive line is suspect, to say the least.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of double A gap blitzes, and Bryce Young is going to be running for his life. And seeing him stand next to his offensive line, not looking great. He's about half their size.
Yeah, he's very
Defensively,
short.
Chad,
Like Bojangles' boxes are not big, and you can see how big they look in comparison to him in this picture. Even
He's a
yeah,
little
he's
bit.
not that tall. Chad, I'm going to disagree with you on the defense. I think their defense is actually their strong suit of this team. They have a lot of good run stoppers, but they don't have a edge rusher. They don't have that guy that can go get the quarterback.
Right.
Um, Brian Burns, maybe they just paid him. So maybe he can take
Um,
that and see if he can
Yeah.
get a few
Well,
sacks with it. But
he's good, but the problem is, like, what are they going to do when he gets doubled? There's no one
right.
else.
Yeah, that's what I was.
I mean, Shaq Thompson and Gross Matos, but they're more run stoppers than anything.
I was gonna say the one person that I was gonna name off that defense is Brian Burns. I don't really know any of their defensive backs or what they've done
You
personally.
don't know Von Bell?
Who?
You don't know Von Bell?
Oh yeah, I guess he went there.
J.C. Horn, C.J. Henderson, Von Bell, Xavier Woods, Dante Jackson, and Jeremy Chin. So their secondary is pretty stacked, but
Eh.
a little bit of
All
experience. But
T Horn. I think they're all aging, aren't they?
Dante
uh,
Jackson's coming off a torn Achilles, so I'm a bit worried about how he's going to do. And Henderson has been a bust so far.
Yeah.
Chin is young, but I don't know why he moved from nickel to or from safety to nickel. They got Johnny Hecker, so in case the offense doesn't move the ball, he will. Um,
I'll boot it out of there.
hey,
Maybe.
he's
Right.
almost as good as Pat McAfee on punters being able to throw the ball.
Yeah.
So a lot of future promise, but I mean, unless Bumper Pool, their fourth string linebacker, can do anything, I honestly don't think this team really has much hope until unless they hit in the draft next year.
Very nice. Shout out Bumper Pool. What a
Yeah.
name.